Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. It's Fab and Co. And today we're going to review Hometown Cha Cha Cha. Yeah, so Kazara is going to give us a brief overview of the plot of the drama, and then from there we're going to talk about the character development, any tropes and montage, the OST, highlights of the drama, and yeah, review overall. So let's get reviewing. Kazara, plot please.
Yeah, so can we just talk about how cute the title was, where they had the little stick people as well to do the
Yeah, the chatter chat, because you know
yeah.
chat is that in Hango, so it looks like people dancing.
Yeah. I just loved how good that looked. I really like the way they did the title.
Yeah.
But let's get into the main character. Of course, we have the main character played by Shimina, which is Yoo Hae-jin, and she's a dentist, and she moved from Seoul, Sora, to Gongji to open her own dentistry
Yeah.
after what's it called? Her supervisor tried to ruin her life because she was trying to be more honest with the customers.
Yeah.
And then you have Du-shik, who's basically a bumpkin. A country bumpkin, and he's basically known as Hong Banja,
Yeah.
which is Chief Hong, and he's officially unemployed, but he does jobs everywhere. He's basically an
Oh,
alba, he's a part-timer.
speaking of what's it called, unemployment, literally my favorite scene in Hometown Cha 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 is literally when he showed her the certificate.
This like all these cars to like he basically is a painter, he's a plumber, he's a driver, he does everything. And but there's obviously a backstory, as we know in KDrama, as to why he's living life like this. And then you have one of like I love this character so much. I've seen him in another drama, but you have producer G, who's like a really nice, very like bright personality kind of man. And he's a director, and he actually went to uni with Hae-jin,
Yeah.
and he liked her back in the days. And then
Someday.
you have other people. Yeah, someday. And then you have other people around, obviously living in the city. You have Hae-jin's best friend, Misun, and then you have her family as well that live in Seoul. And then you have what's it called? You have people that live in Hongjin. You have the Gamri, Kim Gamri, which is Harmony, and she's the Harmony of Korean drama. She's literally the Harmony of Korea.
Also in what's it called? The King Eternal Monarch. She's
Yeah,
also the harmony in the Squid Game. She's his his mom.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's his
everywhere.
mom. She's also, if you've ever watched Boys Over Flowers, where it all began,
Yeah.
she's also the harmony in that. She's basically the harmony of Korean dramas.
She is.
Yes, and then you have like a couple of characters. You have basically Hancho. It's basically you. It goes by Oyun, who's a
Yeah.
singer. He owns a what's it
That
called?
guy
Well,
just coffee by coffee
yeah,
by
he's still
time
holding on
card
to his
by time.
phone. Yeah, he's still holding on to his song that debuted in the 90s. And he owns a cafe, and he has a daughter who's obsessed. She's obsessed with K-pop, and she's obsessed with a group called
DOS.
yeah DOS, June specifically. And then you have what's it called? A woman, Hua Jong, and she's basically born and raised in Zhongjing, and she owns what's it called? She's a landlord for Heijin. And you have her ex-husband as well, who's basically a bit childish. And they're basically there's a mystery around why they divorced, which we then obviously find out later.
That's right.
And yeah, you have other people as well in there. You
There's
have
a
the
lot of people. So
yeah,
just to cut Kazara short,
yeah.
there's a lot of characters that feed into like the whole plot of Hometown Cha Cha Cha.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we're gonna go into like character development, and maybe from there we'll pull them out. But
Mhm.
overall, there's at least maybe 6 families in total that we look
Mhm.
at from different perspective, and it's really nice because usually in K drama, one of the reasons why I really like Hometown Cha 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 is that the supporting characters, they kind of fall flat a bit. Like you tend to skip them when you don't see the main character in that scene. But for Hometown Cha Cha Cha, they actually have their own life without the main characters, which is Honchik and Heijin. So I really like that for the drama. So that's one thing I really, really like. So let's just dive into character development because I want this to be short. So with character development, honestly, this is the first time I think in a drama that I feel like both of the characters they actually developed properly and with time and appropriately. And I like the fact that they still stayed true to themselves and it wasn't forced. So for me, I think for me, it's definitely going to be Heijin because with Hong Do-shik's character development, I kind of saw that coming. Whereas with her, it was a bit different because the way she grew up, the way she is, and the person she became are 3 different transitions. So she grew up without a mother because her mother became terminally ill and she lost her mom at a young age. So her father, as a result, became a drunkard and an alcoholic. And then basically she had to like raise herself up. Hence, when she went to uni, she was known as the poor child because she used to fend for herself, tutor and everything just to get by and pay tuition. So a lot of people looked down on her. So then when she became an adult, she became a bit standoffish, cold, abrupt, and very obsessed with like designer bags and and designer shoes.
Very snobby.
So she became that person, that materialistic person looking for money. But at the same time, there's a nice side of her, which is she's going to fight for whoever is not privileged. Hence, the first thing we see is when her boss was trying to not really scam, but
Scam.
exploit. I was
Credit cards and the scammers.
I think it's more of an exploit. So she was trying to exploit the patient, the dentist patient, her boss was, and she was like, no, you can't do that because they don't need that procedure. This is the procedure they need. It's actually quite cheap. And then obviously she got fired because of malpractice. So with that, we know that obviously she's going to stand up for people. And then she went to Gyeojin to, I think for mom's anniversary, death anniversary, and or for her birthday, I think. I can't remember. But then she went there and then a lot of misfortune happened. And overall, she moved there because she felt more at peace. And then moving on along the line, this is everyone's, like when I say everyone, I'm talking about me and my flatmate that watched it. We really like the transition of her character development because you can see her changing. It wasn't just you get to Gyojin, oh, everyone's different, I'm going to change. No, she had a lot of awkward moments. She was very rude, very rude. She was very feisty. It's that city girl mentality of, oh my God, I think I'm better than you guys, the hygiene level. Because even I'm not gonna lie, at some point I was like, the hygiene of this place is not that great. But everyone was like, what's your problem? Like, we're all humans here, we're alive and stuff. So with that, she started becoming a bit warmer. And then I think what really helped the transition also was that her best friend, Mison, she also moved in with her. So she was more of a relaxed person. So she always tells her like, oh, you were wrong. So there was always someone in the background to like chastise her when she's wrong, which is really good because obviously I feel like there's a lot of people that came into the picture that definitely helped her. But I love her transition. The character development was phenomenal. I liked it. It was a very natural too.
Yeah, I agree as well. Because in the beginning, you can see like she was really rude and really nasty, kind of thing. But then obviously towards the end, she became a lot more open, and she kind of like got used to that. Because I feel like when you live in the city, it's like me, myself, and I. Like it's all about me. I don't care about anyone else.
People are very intrusive in the town. Bloody hell, very invasive.
Yeah, very invasive, very like talkative, like rumors go around about her. But then you can see towards the end, she sort of didn't care. She was just like, they're gonna do them, I'm gonna do me, kind of thing. So yeah, I like that about her as well. And like how she developed like a relationship with all like sort of all the characters from the landlord to the kids. Like you can see her developing like a relationship with the main characters, even the guy at the cafe, that's where she goes in the morning, even though he's terrible at making coffees. And obviously the grandmas as well, the harmony gave us some like life advice. And even the woman that was chat
the woman that owns the Chinese shop.
The woman was she was even like, you know, a bit like understanding.
She had a background story, which was quite nice. Like it's quite refreshing to see that, you know, people are not always who they portray, but they just keep it moving and keep their life. So it's I feel like it's a real nice slice of life drama. I really liked it. Okay, and then for you, who would you say character development you assimilate with?
I think the husband of what's it called, Hwa Jung, because essentially one of the biggest mysteries is these two characters who divorced, but no one knows why they divorced. And essentially what we find out, spoiler alert, is that the husband said some really, really awful stuff about his wife, like really, really bad, like almost like he was stuck with her and he was disgusted by her. And the thought of being married to her just made him sick, and he basically said some really nasty stuff, and of course she had. So she requested for a divorce, and he always thought, why would she request for a divorce? Like never saw it from her perspective. And then he later found out, like had a memory thing and realized why. And obviously there's habits that she didn't like about him. So when they decide to try again, like he was willing to try harder and realize that it's not always her fault. He needs to step up and be a man and be there for her when she needs it. So I really like the fact that he had that realization, and he wasn't an idiot about it. Like, oh, so what? anyways, this kind of thing, like he kind of like stepped up and decided, you know, I want to give it a chance. I want to prove that, you know, like I want to make this right.
To be honest, with that relationship, I think they're both to be blamed because, you know, in the beginning, she knew he didn't like her. She knew it was obviously the teacher that he liked, but obviously the teacher moved away. And then obviously the mystery of the sexuality of the teacher is a bit different. But at the same time, she really was literally pouring all her love into the relationship in hopes that one day it will actually reciprocate it. So that's why even whenever they're like, why did you get divorced? It gets upset. It was like, you're the one who initiated the marriage and you're the one who initiated the divorce. Everything in this relationship is always about you. You never think about me. But like you said, it doesn't think about all the things that she does for him because she's always doing that. Like that was the basis of a relationship. Like she's always the one giving and trying to at least get him to stay. So he doesn't feel the need to obviously pull his weight until he realized that, wait a minute, she's actually done more.
So much.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
So
I feel like with Du-shik as well, I don't think there was really I feel like all of them like developed in their own little way. Like even the producer realizing that actually the person next to him,
is the
like having that realization as well, and kind of thing. And even like the character of Hong Du-shik as well, he's very closed off. Like he's a really smiley, happy person, but he's a very closed off person. And like I feel like he tried to stay away from everyone, but falling in love with Hye-jin was not something he planned, and he realized sooner than later that she was gonna have to find out about his past. So yeah, like I feel like that was for me. I feel like Hong Du-shik also developed not as much as everyone else. I just feel like he opened up a bit more. I don't feel like that's character development. I just feel like that's more like I
yeah,
just need to
I
accept
think
love for what he is.
I think like you said, so in the drama there's three mysteries. So the first mystery is why the couple's divorced. The second mystery is why Du-shik moves back home 5 years later after graduating from uni. And then the third mystery is who won the lottery. And like with the second mystery, because we know that there's a second mystery, we kind of associated that with the way he behaves, that there has to be a reason, because we do get glimpse of him having like panic attack and very suicidal
Blacking out.
thoughts and malicious thoughts. So we knew that it wasn't like stable mentally. So we already knew that it was just a facade that it was putting up until they exposed what happened, which as usual, it was a misunderstanding on both parties. But other than that, yeah, like you said, I don't think like character development, like his because I feel like his character is already there and it was quite developed. It's just that a lot of the incidents that happened in his life led to that moment, and then it's always a case of self-blaming and stuff. So he had to develop the awareness that the things that happen in life is not always his fault, but he always takes it as his fault because these same things happens to him over and over again, and it's always the people he cares about and he loves dearly that it happens to. So I think that's the only development I saw because he literally went for what he wanted, even though it still had all that negative thought in the back of his mind. It still went for it. So I'm like,
I really liked their relation, how supportive he is of
yeah,
Hye-jin, because obviously there was a scene where Hye-jin bought like a 5 million won necklace,
yeah,
and she thought that she like demasculated him, and
yeah,
she thought that it was because of that, that's why he was acting up. So she decided to sell the necklace. And I liked that when he like obviously he was busy, he had other things on his mind because he met someone from his past. So it wasn't necessarily to do with Hye-jin, but I liked how he like the conversation they had about like, you make your money, it's
yeah,
your money. Like if you want to treat yourself, I'm not gonna be like no, because like if you want to spend your money, don't worry about upsetting me. It's like I just might not be able to afford what you can afford, but I'll do things for you. So he made her a box for the jewelry, which I thought was like even sweeter, because it's like even though he can't spend that money, he's putting his time into something that's more personal and handmade. And yeah,
that's one thing I really, really like about Hometown Cha 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 is the fact that they literally made sure that the characters stayed like within their means, if that makes sense. So for
yeah,
example, I don't know, because I'm a big K-drama fanatic, as you know. So I was expecting him to buy the necklace, but he didn't. Instead, he made a jewelry box, and that's very different from the usual K-drama because, you know, with the whole surprise and stuff, they usually then buy it again. But I love the fact that he didn't do that. So even I was taken aback, like, oh wow, that this is actually a bit more thoughtful because I can't afford it, but I can make sure you take care of what's precious to you. And I like that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
another highlights for me, now that we're moving on to highlights, another
Mhm.
highlight for me is definitely that I think that really stuck well with me was the conversation that Hye-jin and the Sunbae, the director, you not director, you what's his name again? Director
G,
Ju,
producer G.
yeah, producer G, that they had when she had to reject him because she was in love with Du-shik, right? I really, really, really like that conversation, because with that conversation there was clarity. They were quite open, because you can tell that even in the beginning, um Hye-jin had some residual feelings, but obviously that feeling was not as strong as the one she had currently for Du-shik. But I love the fact that she explained herself. She went through it and said, you saw the worst of me. And then the producer G responded back, and it was nice. It wasn't a case of, oh, I don't like you, I like someone else, and then moved on. She treated him the way you would treat a friend and a colleague and someone you see as an older brother. And I really liked it. And obviously the aftermath of him still trying to provocate him, he's all right. And then obviously he knew deep down he wasn't. I just like the way they dealt with it. It was just so nice, so mature, and quite
Yeah,
what was
especially like obviously him and director Ji and Hong Bang-ja.
yeah.
She said it so many times, it's stuck in my head. What's it called? They're like, obviously they became friends because they have like similar characters. They're very like sarcastic, bubbly kind of people, so they really
Very
complemented each
helpful.
other. And I like the fact that even though he was hurting, they both recognized that they were like, he was hurting. He didn't try to rub it in his face, although he did get jealous. Hong Bang-jan did get jealous at one point, but it was like he tried to be, yeah, they tried to be understanding of each other, which was really, really nice. I really wish that one thing I wish they'd done is that we saw a bit more of producer G and
The
but
girl.
I like, although I did like the way he wasn't like, oh, I'm in love with you. It was just more like, I want to start pursuing you, which
Yeah,
was nice because I feel like it would have jumped too much if it went from I really like Hye-jin to I'm in love with it, like
exactly.
like rather it's like I want to start pursuing you, I want to see how it goes, which I really, really liked. And yeah, he probably did like that producer, but because Hye-jin came back and she was his old crush, he probably just
I
yeah.
don't think he would have known. I don't think if it met Jing, it would take him longer, because similar to the issue with the divorced couple is the fact that they're very comfortable and they've already put themselves in a box. Obviously, the girl knew that she had feelings for him, but he never really saw out of that friendship box, because he automatically and just automatically does the things that a boyfriend would do. Hence why the girl had to like producer, I can't remember her name, the female producer had to say, you need
Mhm,
to stop, because I need to actually put a boundary between this, because
mhm.
I'm getting confused. And then from
Yeah,
there we started thinking about what Du-shik said.
Korean dramas are crazy. Ji-won worked with him for 7 years.
Yeah.
You know how mad that
Everything.
is to be working with someone for 7 years. Me after 2 years, I'm ready to jet. 7 years, and they'll be in the
I like the company because they really like, the ideas, like they have the same ideas. They're quite bubbly. The personality is quite unmatched, because I feel like with him and Hye-jin, they would go together, but because Hye-jin's she's a bit what's it called, rigid, so he would let her get that way, whereas the Du-shik would tell her, you need to stop being rigid, like life is too short for you to be like that, you need to be more fluid. Whereas with him, because he obviously saw that part of her in the past, he'll always think, oh, you know what, that's why she's like this, I understand. So he's going to be more understanding rather than trying to change her as a person, which is what you
yeah.
need.
Because obviously, like it depends on the balance. Because he's seen her before, he liked her as the old her. But
Yeah.
then, I guess producer, what's it called, Chief Hong sort of saw that she needs to enjoy life a bit more, so he's trying
Yeah.
to open her up. Because there were even conversation about if he might move back to Seoul. Although I feel like that might become a problem for them later, because if my guy's still doing ad hoc jobs, still doing ad hoc jobs when you have to raise a family, I don't think that's how it's gonna work. But
No,
I
he's
feel
a
like
smart
the
guy.
level of, but I feel like he has got money. Like I feel like his house is nice, all of that. He's a laborer. That's what
He's got money. He's got
he's
money.
got money, just not as rich as Hage.
Doesn't
And
pay rent, so he's got money.
yeah, true, true. And she's a dentist. She's the only dentist in Zhongjing, so of course she's gonna
Yeah.
be money. But
So
yeah,
another highlight for me, the highlight that I really, really liked, like that's why I even called Kazara. I was like, Kazara, we need to really watch Hometown Cha Cha Cha, is Mia Sung's guy, the police officer. That relationship is so refreshing. I loved it so much because Miss Song is a very straightforward person, right? And then she liked the police officer and then she literally just went for it. But as a police officer was a bit apprehensive, like, I just want to get to know you. I want to understand who you are as a person, because it's not as if I don't like you, it's just I don't know you. And I guess that's what dating is about, but I want to know you before we started dating. And obviously that's very different because, in major cities, just like in the Western world, once you like someone, you just start dating and then you figure it out along the way. Whereas with him, he had a traditional approach to things, and then she was
Hanbok.
because he was like, oh, I like traditional women, and he's such a deadpan person. It's like, oh, women in hanbok, and then she was like, hanbok is a traditional.
That guy once said in Irati Buba.
And that's a Nigerian or Yoruba traditional.
You just imagine it with the, the hat as well. Nah.
Yeah, so that was quite funny. It was refreshing, and I like the part where the police officer was trying to woo her, and then he was just selling everything he heard, and that was so funny.
Yeah, he was buying her everything. Like he was buying her gifts. I'm like, I won't be complaining.
Yeah, and then she was like, "This is too much," but I'm sorry about that. Like, it's too much. It's too it's stressful and it's too much pressure because I like you for you, and obviously as a police officer, you don't really earn much. So,
but then we find out. But then we find out that.
So that was quite nice. I like that their relationship too was quite refreshing.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that mystery of the first question.
We won the lottery, innit? Yeah. I thought it was how many Gamri boy wasn't.
We thought it was we also thought it was the cafe man because there's never anyone in the cafe.
Oh my god, I thought it was Oyun with his stupid ass guitar and his random ass singing. But
my guy got a shop but jobless because I
the only time that shop was busy was when Du-shik went on a break. That was the only time I actually saw it.
Yeah, definitely. Was there any tropes and montage?
I don't think there was tropes. Well, they did have some snowing and a bit of spin down and a slow motion, but that's about it. Nothing like, oh, that's so cringy, like, okay. Nothing.
But I miss, you know what? We're having this conversation. I miss some tropes. Like I just
water, I'll give you the check. Oh god.
I miss the back hug. I miss the different angles for a kiss. I miss it. Like sometimes I know it shouldn't be too much, but this is what we know KDrama for.
That's what we grew up with.
Yeah. Entertain us. Like Urikaja. I want that singing.
You know what's also like the highlight is also I don't know if there's like a little what's it called, list of things they need to tick in a drama, but because this drama was ticking everything, like strong female lead tick, mental health tick, sexuality tick, because the sexuality part I was just like, that was a bit random.
Yeah,
but I get it, because then obviously that means that the couples can now be together, because that would never happen. Because you know what, this is a bit of a sidetrack, but the way I can't remember his name, but the divorced couple, the man who was divorced, the way he behaved in front of his ex-wife was mad disrespectful. Like the way it was so disrespectful on so many levels. But I'm really glad that he mended his way.
We can forgive him. One thing overall that I liked about this drama is the fact that they really now the Korean dramas are starting to look more at the other characters in dramas, because I think it's so important to be able to tell the side character stories rather than
that's right. Like everyone had it took Kazar nearly 10 minutes to get through half of the people. So you should definitely watch it. I think it's nice, and the reason why a lot of people like it, like for example my housemate, she loves Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. She even loves it more than Because This Is My First Life. Imagine, I still love Because This Is My First Life. But she said the reason why she loves it so much is because the transition of the love was very, very natural. Like it wasn't forced. There wasn't like a certain scene that obviously made it like that. It was a build up, and you can see the gradual change in the character's persona, and obviously the people around them noticing this change. And I just really like it. Like another scene was when they started dating and they wanted it to be a secret, and then she started hitting him and then they forced them apart. That was so hilarious. I love that scene. So overall, it's a really nice, refreshing drama. Like it's got a bit of a slow point, but honestly I think overall you can push through it, because it's just a nice, refreshing drama from all that busting and hustling of Penthouse, Vincenzo, Wonder Woman.
What would you rate it?
What would I rate it? I think it's a strong 8. Like the OST, I don't think it's memorable, because I'm a big OST fan. For you to get a 9 from me, you need to have a memorable OST like Yumi Cells.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a strong 8 because I can watch it again. Definitely watch it again. Yeah. What
I
about
would give
you,
it an
Hava?
8 as well.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, I can watch it again. I think it's really, really good drama. I really like
it is.
the side characters as well,
Yeah.
and I love the grandmas as well. I
Mm.
forgot to
I
mention
love the
them as well.
grammars. I love the grammars. I even love her parents' relationship. The way
Yeah,
even her dad had a character development. Literally all around, everyone was just developing, and I'm just like, I love it. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes. I love it.
yes.
So
100%.
yeah.
Oh, there was one trope. Find out. We forgot. They knew each other from childhood.
Oh
Well,
my
not like
God, how
that. They knew each
can I
other.
forget that? Yes, the throat. The throat is they literally met each other at like different points in their
Point
life when
in their
and
life.
the throat is that it's literally when they needed each other. So the first time they met was when she was really sad on the beach with her dying mom, and then he forced her to smile by making funny faces. And the second time was when she ran away from him but didn't have enough money. And then they also sat back at the beach again. And then the third time was when they met when she lost her shoes. Guess what? At the beach. And then yeah, so
I liked how it always came back to the beach.
yeah,
So
it always came
that's
back
where they had their date. That's where they
to
proposed. So yeah.
yeah. So we're going to post this now, and then on Sunday we're going to do a live review, and then we can discuss all the things that we spoke about and the things we missed out, and then we can just have a nice general discussion where we can go off topic because we just want to make it more centralized on this review. So thank you very much for watching.
Thank you. Follow us on
Follow
Fab
us
and Co.
on YouTube, Fab and Co. 감사합니다. 안녕히 계세요.